What's up, YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey, and this is Uncle Smokey Stock Trades. And before I start this video, I would like to say, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt, and do your own DD. Today we're going to talk about ticker symbol MMAT, Metamaterials Inc. We're going to break down the TA, we're going to look at the options chain, we're going to look at Ortex and Fintel very briefly, a quick Twitter feed look at, and then we're going to break away because you know what, in all honesty guys, nothing to see here. I did call out basically what happened today as far as the bear prediction goes. We dipped all the way down to $4.39 after opening at a lower level than I would like to have opened up at. And that was the $4 and I believe it was $4.46 mark. Like I said, we hit $4.39. Now, I said we could easily see 435 in the bear prediction, and we were pretty dang close. After we tapped 439, we immediately shot straight forward. And I also had said look for 476 to be resistance, and it absolutely was. And the main reason why is because it has shown up to be such a great level of support that you might as well figure it's going to be a very strong level of resistance. Pushing the stock back down to that $4.60 level. Trading here sideways all day long. I mean, this was the most beautiful level of consolidation you could have possibly seen across a single line of support and resistance. So, yeah, it was basically just a sideways day-to-day overall, only finishing down about 0.85% on the day. Overall, at the after hours, we're now down 1.5%. Nothing really to worry too much about. And we also did it on half the volume we had yesterday. Yesterday's volume was somewhere close to 11.8. Today was 5.8 million in volume. So I would have to say that even though we took a pretty big dip, we made an excellent recovery to overall give ourselves a great consolidation day. Let's go ahead and move on to the other chart since, you know, there's nothing much really to talk about here on the 1 minute chart. It's a very microscopic scale, and it just tells the quick story of consolidation through the day. So here we are at the 1 hour chart. The main thing I want to show you here is we know that we've been in a downtrend for the last, call it week and a half. But what we want to see here is, if you will notice, we've made our first higher high and higher low over the course of the last couple of days. So we are showing a slight trend change right here. Also noticing that in the 1 hour chart, the histogram grew very green today, as well as it did Friday. Also notice the MACD crossed way over first thing this morning and shot straight up with the signal line. So we're bringing ourselves back up into a nicer zone is what we'll call it. Not quite where we want to be yet, but we're getting there. Alright, so here's that 1 day chart, that chart that I really like to show you guys. Main reason being is it tells a lot more of a story. It gives us a little bit more direction on what the chart is doing overall, what the stock is doing overall. You can't rely on the really small time frame all the time. That's great for day traders and swing traders, but if you're holding a stock for a lengthy period of time and you want to know what the stock is doing, you need to zoom out and see a bigger, broader picture. And a lot of times I like to look at the 1 day, even 1 week time frame to really get a good close look to see what the stock's doing in an overall trend over a long period of time. Because let's face it, guys, we're in this thing for the long haul. This isn't a sell tomorrow situation. So, yesterday I talked about the hammer candle, which we see right here. Let me get these lines out of here so we can see it. Here's that hammer candle. And I had said that it's generally a bullish indicator of a trend reversal. And today you'll see that we had a really nice green candle. So it's not a confirmation of a trend reversal. We want to see, you know, call it 3 little soldiers sitting in a row before we say that's a full trend reversal. So the other thing we need to look at, I've been calling this out now for several days, the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average have finally converged. So what we're looking for is over the next day or two for them to separate, with the 50-day coming over the 200 and both of them to hook up. Also, take a look at that histogram. got a little bit smaller. You can actually see a red bar line underneath that histogram. See there? If you look right here where my cursor is, it got smaller. Also, it looks like the MACD line's starting to hook up some, and I know it's hard to tell. Let's see if we can make this bigger. That might have been too big to make that definition. Anyhow, it does look to me like it's starting to curl up a little bit. And the RSI still sitting about where it was yesterday. It's at 41.4. Yesterday was at 42.7, I think it was. So, awesome. It came down just a smidgen, and that was because we saw a little bit of a dip in the morning. But again, great rebound. All right, let's move on to the options chain. All right, so here we are in the options chain, and again, low volume, low options. Still a very bullish day. There was way more calls than there were puts. And again, always remember when we talk about this, this is the overall transactions. That doesn't mean that 6,000 calls were bought. No, there was 6,310 calls traded today and 435 puts traded today. Overall, you're looking at like 95% calls compared to the other 5% puts, if it's even that much. And our IV really hasn't changed a whole lot. We're hugging that 120 range. So again, you're starting to see some of these investors step in. Usually though, on the higher volume days, we're going to see a higher volume options change. Just always keep that in mind. Low volume on the stock itself, on the underlying stock, is going to entail low volume on the options. And again, guys, this is not a very active video, and I'm sorry, this is just an update, letting everybody know what's going on. It was basically a boring day. I put out a post first thing in the morning that I wasn't going to be able to do my morning update, and apparently there wasn't much needed there. Nothing happened, guys. Nothing happened. And that's okay. It's okay that nothing happened. You don't want a stock to go up and up and up and up and up. You want pullbacks. You want consolidation zones. You want all of these things, because without them, up and up and up and up is just volatile. And that just means that eventually it's going to be down and down and down and down and down. Now, I know a lot of people out there going, well, that's not the stock market. Well, you know, yes, we're all out here to make money, but there's a very large number of us that are very convicted in this stock. We're very convicted in the company because we know what it can do. We have seen other companies in the past that are similar to this company that have done great, great things and have gone on to make very rich people just because they were willing to hold the stock and be patient. And in all honesty, guys, that's all you need to do with this one. Meta is the gem. It's the diamond. It is going to be the next big one, the next big, call it Tesla or Microsoft, or, you name the tech stock. This is going to be it. I'm telling you. We've got so many applications, it's unreal. The verticals are limitless. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the last little bit of the video today. All right, so here we are at Ortex, and not a whole lot changed again. Like I said today, it was a bland day. Look at this. You might as well call that zero. You might as well call that zero. Nothing, guys. Nothing. So, again, don't sweat the small stuff. We saw a couple of really bad days, but now we're consolidating. Looking actually really, really good. That big solid green candle, that recovery candle that we've seen today, that was fantastic. As far as it goes with the average number of days on loan, we are currently sitting at 2.26 days. That was as of October 22nd. Showing that the days to cover has gone up to 2.57 days, and our cost to borrow has come down a little bit to 5.54%. Utilization sitting at 86.61%. Now, looky here. Shares on loan is now at 41.27 million, which is now 22.35% of the free float. That's about 5% higher than it was the other day. The free float is shrinking. Ortex is showing that, and Fintel is showing that. Now, I'm not going to go too heavily into what the numbers are yet, because I'm still waiting for some dust to settle. Keep this in mind that we've recently had this thing with the Canadian shares where they're now able to transfer over to the American shares, the NASDAQ shares. So you might see a whole lot of this free float stuff change really quick, because for that reason, if they're now taking some of their monies and investing even more into Meta, as far as it goes with being a long holder and they're heavy investors, the free float will absolutely shrink because they're going to be buying large quantities, millions. Call it the insiders, if you will. The Ann Lamberts, the Tom Welches. There was, I believe, a number that was put out there, and this was thank you to a follower. They put this in one of the comments. That something about 72 people held 70% of the MMAX shares. So just keep that in mind as this transfer happens. There are some really big wallets that could very well be buying up a lot of these shares from the NASDAQ because they can. They're convicted in the stock and they want to hold this stock. They want to hold the company so that way they know it'll grow. Just remember, the smaller the available free float for the shorts to borrow against and for retail to buy, creates more of that squeeze potential because now they're shorting something that's even smaller than it was before. As long as we have some big whales that are willing to hold that stock until the squeeze, that's all you need. That's all you need. Retail investors to buy it up and hold. Insiders to be big diamond hand apes like me and like Sterling and like Terry. We need to be diamond hand apes. As long as we can be diamond hand apes and we got insiders that are diamond hand apes, no problem. This thing's going to go to the moon. It's going to do it on the short squeeze that we know is going to happen with the Torch shares. All right, let's move on to Fintel. I'm sidetracking today. I'm trying to make the video longer than it needs to be, guys. No, I'm joking. I really am not. I went out for a really nice dinner with my family, so this got to be a late video. I didn't even start recording until 9 o'clock. It's 9:30 now. So here we go. Fintel. I'm looking at it with you guys for the first time. Short squeeze score is at 79.36. That is 197 out of the 5,500 stocks that are on this list. Currently showing 500,000 shares available. Now, again, I haven't seen this yet today, so it doesn't look like it changed a whole lot throughout the day. It didn't. They borrowed a few, they returned a few, and then basically left it alone. Short barrel fee rate's at 3.64% according to Fintel. And the dark pool data, let's hit refresh. See if it updates for us. It did. Excellent. Dark pool data. We have got, as of today, it's, of course, about half of the volume. 36% the dark pool was short volume. All the rest of them showing 43% overall. And hey, looky there, 47% as far as it goes with yesterday, or Friday, I should say, sorry. No update to the failures to deliver. Okay, so down here, I saw this pop up earlier today on Twitter, and so I'm going to try and help clarify this a little bit. So you got 280 million shares outstanding. This is the overall shares. This is how many shares are available to be traded on the NASDAQ. And then we knew that there was 190 million shares available as of a couple of months ago, correct? So we had talked about recently over the last couple of days how the free float can be changing. In fact, I just said it a little bit ago. Well, here's an example of that. Look here. 280 million shares available. 18% of the free float is short, showing that there's now, and this is very recent, only 112.94 million shares of the free float. That's less the short interest. So 138 million minus the 25 million should put you right around there. Now, again, I'm waiting for some dust to settle here for this to be absolutely accurate because of all of the transactions that are happening right now. Again, if you go to another part, this is the official NASDAQ data. This was as of 9:30 showing it's only 10.183. But again, I'm waiting for the dust to settle. I'm waiting for these people to start filtering in and buying up all these shares and lessening that free float. And this is very good for us, guys. Keep this in mind. As the big toots, as the big insiders come in and they buy this stuff up, the insider is the one that's going to really shrink the float, not the toots. The toots will sell off at any time. All right, they're in it to make money too, okay? But the big whale insiders that are coming in here, let's go over here. These guys, the Greg McCabe's, the Tom Welch, these ones here, these guys all here, as these big whales come in here and they buy this up and they're inside trading like this, because maybe they're a part of the company or whatever it may be. Maybe they invest in the company. Or again, you might not even see it on here. They just bought, call it 5 million shares because they can. That's going to shrink the float. You might not even see it shrink, but it's going to. These are such good things for the retail investor because these guys are wanting to hold on to it. They're diamond hands, man. All right, so well, this is just more about the institutional owners. Again, showing the biggest ones right here. New institutional ownership. Here we go. So, right here, this is the only one I see for today. FSTBX. It's a Class A shares. So, it looks like they bought 414 shares for their allocated funds. Great. Thanks, guys. Welcome to the team. Alright, so after watching my video and realizing that I don't think I explained that short interest part well enough, I'm going to try and do that for you very quick right now. Alright, so 280 million shares outstanding. That is what was issued by the NASDAQ of overall outstanding shares. That is not what is physically being traded. What is physically being traded is what it is less the insider shares. Okay, so that's not the institution shares, it's not the short shares, it's less the insider shares, the ones that are going to be holding the stock long. So overall, according to Fintel, insider shares is 142,617,216 shares. That brings the available free float down to 136,382,784. And then when you less the short interest of 25,052,830 shares, that gives you an overall available free float of 111,329,954. So hopefully that explained it a little bit better. In order to know what you're actually trading, you have to take the outstanding shares, subtract the insider traded shares, then subtract the short interest shares. And that will give you your overall what is being traded by retail and the institutions and all of those guys, okay? All right, so I hope that cleared it up. Back to the video. All right, pushing past all of that, just because, again, nothing much to see. I'm sorry, but there really, really wasn't. This is what came out today. George tossed a tweet out as well. I retweeted it. Nanotech Security Corp has built a sophisticated custom automated recombination system as part of the production facility expansion. Read more at this thing here. I clicked on it. It's right here. Very long, scientific-ish article, but good stuff. Basically talking about their step and repeat nanolithography, the SRNIL process, and talking about how it's expanding the ability to produce things faster. Metamaterials is even mentioned in here. Where was it at? I saw it. Nanostructures and metamaterials are the functional building blocks of next-gen technology devices and applications. So right there, Nanotech says it for us. Nanotech structures and metamaterials. Boom, love it. Anyway, I encourage you guys to go in here, like it, retweet it, share it with all your friends and family, read the article. I'm getting a lot better at reading a lot of this stuff, trying to read it before you guys get it, or before I say it to you guys. I need to get a little bit more in tune with this science. It's good stuff. It's just hard, man. It's hard. George is a brilliant guy. Anyway, that's all we got for today as far as it goes with like news and Twitter and all that other stuff. That's just going to take us to the very last thing we need to talk about, and that's the prediction. All right, so here we are at the 5-minute chart. As always, we're going to start, well, I guess not as always. We've changed things up a bit, and it's actually worked out a bit, so let's change things up again. We're going to start with the bull prediction. Bull predictions today. Now, again, this always relies on volume, guys. With the lack of volume, it's going to be the lack of the bullness. If volume pours into the stock tomorrow, and we open up where we close, right in this general area right in here, I would foresee us, again, make a quick jump of 476. 476 is going to be a level of resistance again. Tap it and break down back towards that 465 level, and then possibly making another attempt of that relatively quick. If we can get past that with enough volume, 480 would be the next quick bump, but it's not going to be a stopper. If we're busting through 476, we're going pretty hard and strong for at least a couple minutes. I would say 490 would probably be a technical level of resistance, followed by that by 5. 5 is going to be technical and psychological. So expect for this to be a bounce point going back towards 490 and then retesting 5. If we can get past 5 on volume, 510 to 520 would be relatively quick, but 520 is going to be a stopper. I mean, a major roadblock. We've bounced off of this several times, and expect to bounce off of it again, pushing it back towards that 510, maybe even $5 where we would possibly trade sideways. Now, with extreme volume, I mean, I'm not talking this garbage stuff we've been seeing lately, 7 million, 5 million. We need over 10, 15 plus, maybe even 20 million in volume to push through that 520 level. This is where you're going to start to see a lot of short sellers step in if we get this high. They don't want to get it above this. They want to drive it lower. Now, if we mount 520, 530 would definitely be the next location, 530 to 535. Just like yesterday, I don't foresee us pushing much further past that. If we do, 550 would definitely be a stopper, just because it's both psychological and technical. Sorry about that. Weeble was screwing me again. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to move on to the bear prediction. So, with the bear prediction, again, I could easily see that $4.35 mark show up. 430 would be a good catch if it did go past that. 430 being a good catch. If it breaks 430, 420 would be your level. I don't foresee that happen. Again, we showed that we're making a higher low, and that's ultimately we want to see. Tomorrow's, if it dips, we want to see a higher low. So we wouldn't want to see it come past the 450 mark. But if it does, like I had said, 435, it would be the hopeful catch. Now, with that being said, expect to bounce and for it to trend the way it has the last couple of days. It'll bounce back up, probably tap off 476 area, and come back down and trade sideways, 450, 460 area-ish. Before trying to remount going back green again. Now, if it doesn't do that, maybe sideways down here at that 450 level all day. You know, I don't see it happening though. It seems like we've got some buyers. Every time it comes down and makes that quick dip, it hits these critical levels of support and it just bounces and runs. It runs the whole rest of the day. So that's what I'm looking for tomorrow, guys. That's what I want to see. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Make sure you share this with your friends and family. Get the word of Meta out to everyone that you possibly can. Last thing I do want to tell you, I booked my plane tickets. I'm flying into, what was it, Santa? Oh, geez, I done forgot the name of the airport. Something Jose International Airport. I'm staying at the Embassy Suites. Me and my oldest, my 18-year-old boy. We got a package deal on Expedia.com. Yeah, good stuff. So, good fun. We're going to be heading out there on the 9th of November. We'll be landing at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I hope. I don't want any major layovers in Dallas. That's our transfer point, Dallas International Airport. So, anywho, cool beans. We got that all squared away and taken care of. So, yeah, that's the update on that. That's the update on the stock. Not a whole lot else going on. I drug it on longer than I probably should have, and I'm sorry for that. Bye.